All right, let's dive into a pretty radical way of thinking about your career, a philosophy called sovereign systems. The big idea here is that almost everything you've been taught about hard work, well, it might just be a trap designed to keep you from realizing your true value. And this isn't just about working smarter. No, this is about tearing up the old rulebook and writing a completely new one.
Okay, let's just get right to the heart of it with this quote. This one statement pretty much challenges everything we're taught. The system doesn't reward effort, it rewards leverage. It's not about how much you sweat, it's about how well you're positioned.
So that begs the question, right? If that's true, why is the message always, give 110%, go the extra mile, be the first one in and the last one out? We're basically conditioned to believe that maxing out our effort is the only way to get ahead. But as you're about to see, that belief is actually a huge trap.
So first up, let's talk about something called the effort trap. You know that feeling? The more you give, the more people just expect. And it often comes with zero extra reward. This happens because most of us are playing a game without really understanding the rules of the system we're in.
And this is where things get really interesting. Look at the disconnect here. On the left, that's the employee's mindset. We operate on what you could call emotional economics. We think, if I just work harder, they'll see my value, or my goodwill is going to pay off. But on the right, that's the system's logic. It's cold, hard, transactional economics. The system thinks, why should I pay you more? You're already giving me everything for free. It only understands profit, pressure, and position.
And here's the kicker. When you give 100% all the time, that just becomes the new zero. It's the new baseline. Your excellence, your hard work, it gets normalized, it becomes expected, and eventually, it becomes totally invisible. You have no more cards to play. You've got no leverage in a negotiation because you've already put everything on the table.
Okay, so if the old way of just working harder is a trap, what's the move? The solution is kind of brilliant, actually. It's about mirroring the system's own logic. You have to learn to think exactly like it does.
You've got to understand how this system is wired. It's not personal, it's not malicious, it's just a machine. And in that machine, loyalty is not a currency it accepts. Your emotions aren't going to protect you. The whole thing is purely transactional. It's designed to maximize its own profit, which is why it'll pay different people different amounts for the exact same job. You can't win by appealing to its feelings, you have to mirror its logic. Which brings us to this really powerful concept called symmetrical strategy. Think about it. A company can design one product and sell it 1,000,000 times to multiply its profit, right? So, why can't you do the same thing with your own output? If you create something of value, you can apply that value across multiple systems. This isn't about cheating or stealing. It's just mirroring the exact same efficiency that the system itself uses to win.
All right, this next part. This is probably the single most important mindset shift in this whole explainer. It's about completely changing how you see yourself in any professional setup.
Let that sink in for a second. When a company gives you a job offer, they are not rescuing you. They are not doing you a favor. It's an acquisition. They have identified you as a valuable asset and they want to acquire you. Just reframing it that way flips the entire power dynamic, doesn't it? You go from feeling desperate to being ready to negotiate.
So what does it mean to be an asset? It means you are intellectual property. You're not just a pair of hands. You are a living data set, a thinking API, a strategic asset. And as IP, you have inherent value. You are legally protectable, and this is huge. Your skills can be licensed, not just traded for an hourly wage. You are entitled to negotiate terms, royalties, contracts, not just a salary.
Okay, so that's the big idea, the mindset shift. But how do you actually do it? Let's get into the practical stuff, the actual tools you can use. Let's open up the Sovereign's Toolkit.
First up, tool number 1, the output throttle strategy. This is all about consciously and strategically managing your energy and your work output, instead of just letting the system drain you dry on its own terms.
And this is the mantra. Give 1, hold 9, negotiate on your own time. Imagine you've got the capacity to deliver 10 units of value, but the job only requires 1. What do? You deliver 1 perfectly. The other 9, you hold them back. That's your reserve. That's your energy, your sanity, your creative firepower, and most importantly, it's your leverage.
So here's the step-by-step on how this actually works. Step 1, you deliver exactly what's expected, the baseline. Then step 2, you stabilize just a tiny bit above that. Let's call it +1.
You just hold it there and you watch. You monitor expectations. You only increase your output, again, by another tiny +1 when it's absolutely necessary. So what's the point of all this? You bank your most precious resource, your time and energy, for your own projects, your own ventures, your own life.
All right, tool number 2. This one is just as critical. It's called contractual intelligence. And you have to remember this. The moment you have the most power in any job is right before you sign on that dotted line. And this quote, wow, it's harsh, but it's so true. You sound like a beggar when you sign like a slave. If you accept terrible terms from the start without any discussion, you kind of lose your right to complain about those terms later. Negotiating your contract isn't being difficult, it's basic self-respect. It's establishing the terms of your acquisition from day one.
And just look at the difference here. This lays it all out. On the left, you've got the standard trap, fixed pay. You're locked in at your entry salary, and getting it raised means you have to go beg for it. It's based on hours, and it's owned by the system. But on the right, that's the goal, fluid pay. This is a structure that you negotiate, one that scales with the value you create. Think performance bonuses built right into the contract, or automatic salary reviews when you hit certain goals. It's all about getting paid for the value you deliver, not the hours you're in a seat.
So what happens when you put all this together? The mindset, the tools, what's the end game? Well, that brings us to the final transformation.
This right here, this is your new identity. You are no longer just an employee. You are a sovereign entity, a business of one. You become a subcontractor. You are contracting out a specific service for a specific outcome with a clear understanding that they don't own your entire life.
And this final chart just says it all, doesn't it? The locked employee is trapped by fixed hours, has to beg for any kind of flexibility, and is usually stuck with one income stream. But the sovereign subcontractor, they focus on output, not hours. They design their own flexibility from the very beginning. And they have the freedom to take on multiple contracts, to create multiple streams of income. You're not just a role anymore, you're a flexible identity that you can apply wherever you see an opportunity.
So, we're going to leave you with this final thought, a question to turn back on yourself. After all of this, the core idea is simple. Your real power, your true leverage, lies in the value you hold in reserve. It's the part of you they haven't seen yet. So ask yourself, what part is that? Because whatever it is, that's your leverage.